All right, folks, we just got back from Cat. Let's check out the parts here. So what we have here is the gasket. This is for the upper shaft plate. And we have the lower bearing, the upper input stub shaft bearing, and the upper stub shaft gasket. Like I said, it always tickles me. Like, look at that. That's brand new Cat logo on a part for a machine they made in 1937. The support Caterpillar gives is unmatched. I don't even know what to say. It always makes me just proud of them. What other equipment manufacturer, you know? You can still go to the dealer and get parts for something they made over 80 years ago. It's impressive. Because as you seen last time, there was a piece of metal stuck in the cogs. So today we're gonna put those new bearings in. I have it all kind of put back together. But yeah, so we'll put the new bearings in. It's kind of windy, so I had to make me a fancy wind direction finder so that I knew where I could park up at. So I probably won't show the teardown of me taking this all apart to get to the bearings, because I showed that in the last video and there's no reason to do it twice. So I'll bring you guys back when I have the bearings out and we see how messed up they are. The transmission's still locked up, so something's still not right. So yeah, hopefully we figure this out. Well, folks, I come to you defeated. So I thought I was just going to be able to pull that bearing out on the stub shaft and replace it and the lower shaft bearing, and that was my plan for today. But I decided I'd drain the oil. Sorry about the wind, it's pissing me off. Yeah, so I figured I'd drain the oil out. Find a place where it's not windy. Of the transmission, drain the trans oil. Just to get it all cleaned up in there, because I was putting new bearings in it. I did put new oil in it last year, but it's been run a little bit and whatnot. And then I figured I'd put some diesel in there and push it back and forth a little bit just to kind of clean up everything, being that I'm putting new, two new bearings in it. So I do that, put the diesel in, and I'm pushing it backward just slowly with the tractor, and it sticks, skids the tracks. And I'm like, well, what could that be? So I get the tractor, try pushing it the other way. Nope, sticks the tracks. If I put it in neutral, it rolls. Fine, but the input shaft of the transmission is locked up. Just one thing after another with this machine, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I know the tractor wasn't worth fixing. Here, try to get a better angle. Sorry, this video is probably not going to be the best. It's just going to be me venting. So I know the tractor wasn't worth fixing when I first got it. But I'm one of those guys that puts the money into something to then make it worth fixing. And then another thing is, I kind of fell in love with this tractor. I don't know why. I have two other ones over there that are better tractors than this one. I have a 7U D4 and a 4U D2. Both good. They run better. I mean, the 7U has bad tracks, but that's about it. Everything works on it. There's no gear noise in the transmission. Everything's just how it should be. But for some reason, I decided that this old, 1937 RD4 was the one I was going to like the best out of all of them. Its name is Tommy, which is fun. But at this point in this tractor, I think the next step is we're going to have to do things right. And by do it right, I mean we're going to have to just go all the way with the gear. So the engine runs okay. It sat for like 15 years with water in it. And it rusted the injectors and whatnot in those 15-20 years. The guy doesn't know it. He said 15, but I'm sure it's probably closer to 20. As the old guy I got it from says he used to build trails with it in the Ozark Mountains when he was a kid, and he's in his 80s now, so it sat a long time. But I got the engine stuff working. So it puffs smoke and kind of runs rough when it's cold because of the bad injector, but once it's warms up, then it's happy. Has good oil pressure, starts good. The pony motor blew up spring of last year. I have a new pony motor getting built for it. But now the pony motor is the least of my worries. We have gear problems. And the undercarriage isn't in the best shape. The rollers are just starting to tag. So you see the rollers here are just starting to hit the pins. So that means your rollers are worn out and your rail height is junk. And it's $1,600 per chain for new rails. That's not counting the rest of it. This machine as it sits is probably worth $1,800 maybe. And now I got to decide if I want to put 10 grand into it. Just because I like it. That's it. It speaks to me. It speaks to me in a way none of the other tractors do. And it's just, I don't know. This is depressing. This is the biggest thing I worry about. If I go all the way and just go full restoration, I'll probably leave the engine alone for now. But to rebuild the gearbox in the back end, the engine has to come off. So I'll have to pull the engine out, set it aside, and pull all the gears out of the transmission. The problem with this is I've seen this ever since I was a kid, where somebody starts a project and they never finish it, and then it just ends up being scrapped because it's taken apart. Whereas if they would have just left it together till they had, or sold it to somebody, that had the money to just immediately go through it, then it would still be around. And I've seen that happen to old drag lines. There was one of those old Euclid bulldozers that have the two tracks, the two halves that swivel in the middle. I don't know the model number. Of course, I was a kid. This was early 2000s. And I think they had a final drive issue or something. They took the final drive apart, and then it sat for 10 years just taken apart, and then they scrapped it because it was taken apart and not really worth anything anymore. And I don't have a lot of faith in the future. That's probably my biggest. I don't have. I should have more faith in myself. Yeah, that's the biggest problem with taking this apart and going all the way with it, is I do not want it to end up like that. It's made it this long. It's a 1937. It's still here. It still runs. It doesn't drive anymore. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go for a full overhaul of the gear case and and just hope that the future's good enough that it gets back together and running again. So that'll be it for this video. I know I got really long-winded on you. I'm sorry. I just needed to vent about this a little bit. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one, and we'll probably be pulling the motor off. We got to start by taking the blade off. I think I can leave this headache structure, is what they call it, because you bonk your head on the top, on, and I can just come in with the forks on the tractor here to lift the engine, and then just drag the tractor part of this back. So yeah, it's a big undertaking, but somebody has to do it. I just don't want to see the old girl taken apart. She looks so good and rustic, you know. Okay, I'm done venting. We'll see you in the next video.